Welcome to another edition of The Good Outdoors on 99.5 Kicks Country with Steve, Daryl, and Ronnie. It's everything about the outdoors. Take it away, guys.
Good morning, man. Welcome to the Good Outdoors radio show. This is the last day of the year, and, man, I'm proud to be here. How about you, Steve?
I am glad we made it through another year.
Man, it was rough, though.
A little frost on the at times it was, but it was a good year. We launched the radio show. I tell you, man, it can't get a whole lot better than the way we living in the good outdoors.
I tell you,
right now.
Man.
It's cold outside this morning. Frost on ice on the windshield this morning. Had to warm the truck up and get the old defroster going this morning. Thaw it out. Winter is here. We've been wondering for a while where it's at. Well, by God, we ain't got to look for it now.
I guarantee you, I found out it was here all weekend long. I was out hunting, and you don't realize how cold you get when you stay out in it pretty much all day. And then I come in Saturday evening, and I took a shower pretty much immediately after I come in. And when hot water started hitting me, man, I just stood there and soaked it in because I was cold to the bone. I
remember as a kid, my feet getting so cold that when I come in and put it in the warm water, it almost hurt.
I know, man. It was here, though. It's here. It's going to warm up a little bit this week and cool off a little bit again. But we've had some good cold weather this weekend. The mosquitoes are running scared, as a Bulldog put it a while ago. That was pretty funny what he put there.
They definitely running scared. I don't think you'll see them the rest of the hunting season. I
don't think so. I believe they're gone. Oh yeah. Well, I had a great weekend. I don't know about you guys. I had fun. What'd y'all do?
I didn't do a whole lot. I cleaned up around the house. I started the sad task of organizing all my hunting junk for storage, and actually broke out my turkey vest and turkey calls and started looking at them a little bit. I cleaned out my truck, believe it or not. I know you've seen it lately. I actually took about 3 hours yesterday afternoon after I saw that the Falcons yanked their starters out. Well, actually, they didn't yank a whole lot of their starters out, but I actually saw they weren't trying too hard to win the game. I lost interest, and I went outside and I cleaned my truck up, the wife's car up, just kind of organized stuff in my shop again for winter storage, and that was about the highlight of my weekend, to be honest with you. Yeah. But it was a nice weekend, nice, relaxing. I actually had your children, a couple of your children over for the weekend, and all of them fished pretty much half the day Saturday, half the day Sunday, and as best I can tell, they caught one. Madison actually caught one brim.
That's pretty good.
I'm not so sure she didn't accidentally foul hook it. I didn't look too close, but the cold weather did not have the fish cooperating, to say the least.
I can imagine it didn't. Not the kind of fishing y'all were doing. It might have had some speckled perch going on, but man, I tell you, the wind was rough Saturday.
Yeah, I didn't get out a whole lot Saturday. Believe it or not, Saturday I got on this TV kick, which I haven't done in a long time. And me and Charlie, actually, 5 years old, sat there and watched all 27 Rambo movies. We watched, I can't even remember everything we watched, but really got into watching some older TV shows, and it was pretty fun sitting there like that. And of course we ate dinner and went to bed kind of early on a Saturday night, and the wife and I were going to go out Saturday night because we've never went out and had our little Christmas dinner that we usually go out and do. We've gotten lazy, I guess. So not just I can't say a dull weekend around my house. It was just a relaxing weekend. We watched some football. Watched a couple of bowl games. Watched a real good game last night between Dallas and Washington. Washington beat them to get that last playoff spot, 28-18.
What did you see, Green Bay?
Yeah, I watched that one. I was pulling hard for Minnesota to beat that one. Not that I like Minnesota that much over Green Bay. I just knew that Green Bay was in either way, and plus a win would keep the Bears out, who I can't stand. So glad that worked. There
was some good football, good college football this weekend. I watched pieces of games. Texas, Saturday, and
Texas put it on Oregon State.
Oh, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. That was
and they had to come from behind too, because I was watching some of that one. And then how about how Rice put it on Air Force, 33-14? Wasn't that something?
Yeah, I was not pulling for Rice. I was pulling for the academy there. So
it's Syracuse and West Virginia. Syracuse beat West Virginia.
Arizona.
TCU and Michigan State was a good game.
It was. The Horned Frogs, I got a good buddy that's graduated from TCU, so he's not feeling good this morning. And the other academy, Arizona State, just walloped them 62-28, so that was not good.
No, it was not good. But we got some games coming up. We got a few today. North Carolina State and Vanderbilt, USC and Georgia Tech, and Iowa State and Tulsa, and LSU and Clemson.
Yeah, the two good games today. LSU, Clemson, USC, Georgia Tech. USC starting quarterback out. So Georgia Tech, I don't know. We'll see. I got a feeling that USC's defense is going to struggle stopping that triple option of Georgia Tech, but I actually think that Georgia Tech's got a chance to win the game because of that rushing attack. The problem is I don't think they're going to. I didn't think they were going to stop USC. Now that their quarterback's out, I don't know. I wouldn't bet on that game. With a lot of inside information. LSU Clemson, that's going to be a good game.
That'll be a good one there.
This is ACC's time to shine. They want to step up and beat a good SEC team, and here it is. And that should be a good game. A lot on the line in a lot of ways for Clemson.
Well, then tomorrow you got Georgia and Nebraska, and Georgia's got a player or two out. You believe that?
Yeah, I do. I do believe it. Yep.
But yeah, we got some good games of people that are off today and tomorrow to watch. Any of them's good. Any college football is good. Tomorrow you start off with Mississippi State and Northwestern, then Purdue and Oklahoma, and Georgia and Nebraska at 1 o'clock tomorrow. South Carolina and Michigan. I'm interested in watching that game. Wisconsin and Stanford at 5.
That'll be a good one. That's the Rose Bowl, ain't it?
Yep. Then you got the Orange Bowl, Northern Illinois and Florida State. That'll be 8:30 tomorrow night. That'll be a good game too.
Yeah, tomorrow's today and tomorrow is really probably the two most action-packed days, and then you got from every day up until pretty much the national championship, you got some serious games going on.
Serious games.
The BCS games will start. So
hey,
we'll see what happens.
I had a good weekend. I went over to Donaldsonville with a friend of mine hunting this weekend, and we went over tried to do some doe management. The rut is kind of still on a little bit over there, but we went over to do some doe management and try to take some does out, and of course shoot a trophy buck if you come out. Saw lots of deer. Even as bad windy as it was, it came a rain Saturday morning and got through before we got on the stand, and it was real windy. And saw, I think it was Saturday morning, I saw a little 3-point come through, a spike, and then about 9:20, an old doe stepped out on the road down there, and I went ahead and took her out. And as we were sitting there, they'd hunted over there, start hunting over there December 15th. They don't set foot on the property to hunt until December 15th every year. They just hunting the rut. They got over there, and December 15th they were over there, and one guy had shot a nice buck, and he couldn't find him. He found some maybe a little bit of blood. I don't know if any blood. I know he found some hair. Knew he hit him, but he knew which way the deer ran, and he searched and he searched and he searched and couldn't find anything. Well, I had a guy sitting in that stand Saturday morning, and he saw the buzzards. He said, I'm fixing to go down there and look for them buzzards go away. And sure enough, 30 yards from where he shot him, this deer was laying. This deer had circled, a huge, a big circle, and come back 30 yards from where he shot him and laid down right there. You could see him from the two path, because the buzzards had been beat it all down in there. Nice 8-point, just great brow tines. Got like probably a 5.5-inch brow tine on one side and a 4-inch on the other. Just a super deer, nice deer for South Georgia. Loved it. And we sent him a picture, sent Josh a picture, and he couldn't stand it after he sent the picture. He had to come. Had to get his deer head. So he come over, and we hunted Saturday afternoon and Sunday morning, and no more deer were killed. A lot more were seen. A couple of does were missed at long ranges, but just a fun time hunting, man. Had a good time. It was cold and windy, and kind of a miserable hunting in that aspect Saturday because it was wet, but shoot, man, I had a good time.
Yeah, y'all were right down the road from the hooch, and I know they were.
Oh, yeah.
The bucks were still wide open for sure. There, they killed 4 Pope and Young bucks. Let's see what days. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday they killed 4 Pope and Young bucks plus 2 borderline Pope and Young bucks that two kids shot. And Eddie Buskey's son Hunter, who's on Hunter's Good TV every year, he shot a whopper of a buck that they couldn't find, unfortunately. Eddie sent a picture off the camera. I'll try to text it to you. You can put it up on Facebook. But they killed some outstanding bucks over the weekend. Just
you killed a giant 6-point, didn't
places. Every year they kill a giant 6-point. They killed a 130-inch 6-point last year, believe it or not. There. And,
dang.
But Cannon, Sam's son Cannon, finally got redemption, but he had 2 misfires. I don't know if you saw it on Facebook, but he had a 150 class buck that Sam grunted from 300 yards up to 50 yards. Cannon clicked on it twice. 2 bad bullets, they found out. A bad batch of bullets.
What is he shooting?
I asked him that. It's not a Thompson Center. But it was, in fact, 2 bad bullets. The whole box skipped. They took it out after they hunted, and every bullet they ran out of that box skipped. I don't know what ammunition it was. I hadn't asked him that. But anyway, Cannon was able to redeem himself and shot a nice 8-point. Wasn't near as big as the one that he clicked on, but they sure stomped some bruiser bucks over there. That's 12 years of intense trophy management and feeding, evolved habitat feeding program, and a 21% protein mixture in their feeders, and it is paying off, to say the least. So
it sure is. It's paying off, right down the road from them too. They're doing some of the same management. It's getting better and better every year. And you think outdoorsmen for that, that's what we want to do. We want to grow these bigger bucks, and
most
outdoorsmen. Not everybody wants to do that. I understand.
Good buddy Gary Morris was horn hunting this weekend and actually shot a horn off the deer, so that's all he recovered. So good job, Gary. Maybe next time you'll shoot a little straighter and be able to get him. But
buck fever, man, it happens to all of us.
Buck fever will get you. So we're going to take a break, come back here. You listen to the Good Outdoors on 99.5 Kicks Country.
Everyone knows that Eagle Auto Repair in Lake Park, Georgia is the best place to get your vehicle back in shape and keep it there. But did you know they're also a certified U-Haul provider? That's right. If you are moving somewhere or pulling a car or truck and need help, Eagle Auto Repair can hook you up. No matter if it's local or long distance, we've got you covered. Might as well leave your car for service while you move. That's multitasking. Eagle Auto Repair, 321 Lakes Boulevard in beautiful Lake Park, Georgia. Stop by or give Ronnie a call at 229-559-1999.
We're running out of time. We're drawing the line. This is our battle cry.
Huntin' is Good TV is an action-packed hunting show with a mission to secure our hunting heritage. Join Steve Nichols, Trey Weatherington, and Neil Armati each week as they hunt across the U.S. and Canada with pro athletes, actors, wounded warriors, kids, and regular old Joes who know hunting is good. Huntin' is Good TV airs on Pursuit Channel and is available on Dish Network Channel 240 and DirecTV Channel 604. For more info, visit huntingisgoodtv.com and follow on Facebook at facebook.com/HIG TV show. You can also use your high-speed internet connection to watch online by logging on to filmon.com at the airtimes posted on our website. And remember, hunting is good.
This is our battle cry.
Southern Ocean Sports at 1607 North Ashley Street, Valdosta has been the South's premier dive shop for over 26 years. SOS is a NAUI accredited dive shop and teaches everything from open water dive classes right up to instructor. Come learn to dive with Dave Stone of the History Channel's hit show Axemen. Southern Ocean Sports also has a complete line of paintball guns and accessories, as well as the only skateboard shop in town. Stop by Southern Ocean Sports at 1607 North Ashley Street, Valdosta, or give them a call at 229-244-4084.
Crystal River Seafood, located at 958 North St. Augustine Road, is simply described as the best fresh seafood in South Georgia. Fresh is the key word here. No matter what you crave, from shrimp to fish, grilled to fried, Crystal River Seafood has it all. The service is second to none, and the atmosphere is typical Southern hospitality. So if you want to treat yourself to a fine, fresh seafood dinner with the family, or enjoy a nice lunch special, it's Crystal River Seafood in Valdosta, Georgia, just down from Tractor Supply on North St. Augustine Road.
So you need a car, truck, or SUV? Look no further than Midway Auto Emporium at 4189 Bemis Road, Valdosta, Georgia. Cameron and Melissa Tucker has been serving the Valdosta area for over 7 years now. They are a family-owned and operated local business with hometown values and still believe in handshake deals. With a great selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs, with a Carfax report on every one of them, along with bank financing at all credit levels and interest rates as low as 1.85% with approved credit. 4189 Bemis Road, or visit their website at midwayautoemporium.com.
It's the Good Outdoors on 99.5 Kicks Country. Now, let's get back to the fun. talking about everything to do with the outdoors with Steve, Daryl, and Ronnie.
Hey, welcome back. We were just sitting here talking about some of the deer and the hunting that's been going on and this weekend and the people that are seeing deer. You know, it's western Georgia. You know, the rut's on over there now, getting closer to Alabama's time for the rut. People are still hunting like crazy over here. You know, in Lowndes County, it's slowing down a lot. You know, it's slowing down at our hunting club a good bit, and the bucks just aren't moving like they were. I'm sure they're still there. They got to move sometime.
Yep, they got to move sometime, but it's mostly under the cover of darkness, unfortunately.
Yeah, and but I'm gonna get back there. Got a camera out there. I put up last week. I'm gonna check it probably the end of this week or this weekend or sometime, see what's going on with it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's going on, and I said I mentioned last week that a man, if he wanted to hunt just the state of Georgia, he needs to be in 3 hunting clubs. He needs to be one over on the East Coast around St. Simons, St. Mary's, Camden County, Glenn County. He needs to be one around Lowndes and Brooks County. Then he needs to be one in Early County, and then he's covering 3 distinct ruts. One early in September and October, one in November, and then one in mid to late December. And then he could have some prime hunting the entire year in the state of Georgia, but you got to join 3 clubs to do it. That or not, you could hunt some, manage, wildlife management areas possibly. That might work. But,
yeah, it would.
I tell you, it sure is strange to see how the rut works. You know, it's still
it's funny.
Still just going to be kicking in. You know, in Alabama. Across the Chattahoochee over there and into Alabama and into the Black Belt region, it'll be kicking in probably around January the 10th. Run out through the end of the year, and then it's the same thing in Texas. You know, it starts around January, right around the end of December, 1st of January, and Mississippi, right through there. So,
yeah, I had a buddy of mine, Cameron Tucker, with Midway Auto. He was out in Mississippi last week, and I think they came home Sunday. He said just bad weather, was what shut him down. He didn't have no luck on a good buck. Just the weather, just the time, the time they were there. I know that storm was coming through and all, and it didn't shut them down, but it just sure didn't help any. We saw it over there where we were at, yesterday morning especially. The deer didn't move as good as normal after all that, mess come through, and then it got real cold last night or night before last. But it was still a good time. But I agree with you. You need to be 3 different clubs in the state of Georgia. You don't have to be, of course, but there's a lot of good places. You touched on WMAs and stuff. People don't realize just how good Grand Bay is out here. I was over at Al's house yesterday after we got back. He's killed a nice deer over at Grand Bay years ago. This buck probably, I don't know, scores. He's in the 130s. He's a nice deer.
That's a good buck for a management area.
Yeah, great buck. But people just got to take advantage of what we have around. I've never hunted Grand Bay. I don't know why. I just never have.
I have. I've actually killed. I don't know if you remember. I killed it was a 6-point. It was a nice 6-point. Back. Man, I don't even remember where it was or when it was. It was a long time ago. I know that. Trey and I went over there and hunted, and it was an early gun season, and we went over there and shot. Was able to shoot a deer. He actually saw deer. He just didn't see a buck. But I shot it on the edge of a clear cut. They had done some clear cutting over there, and I got where I could see a long ways, and sure enough, in the evening, just 5:30 or actually probably 6:30. The time hadn't changed yet. Just like a deer is supposed to, come out feeding in that clear cut, easing around there, and I shot it. And but that was the only time I've ever went, and it was a 2-day gun hunt. I killed on the second day. Saw some does the first day. I remember it vividly. But the thing about a WMA, that close, I think you can probably go out there and scout it.
I think it's maybe the day before, I believe.
Oh, is it?
I'm not sure on that one.
That's probably what makes it a little hard there. But if you could, like Piedmont National Wildlife Refuge, where you and I have spent a lot of hours in the stand hunting deer, you can go up there during the year and scout it out. And you can learn where the deer are and kind of get a feel for it. At Grand Bay, you need to check and see when you can go in there. If it's just the day before, that right there is that's a huge handicap. But at the same time, you think about it, in a full day of scouting, if you wanted to put in your time, you can do a lot of things. This is a good topic. You can do a lot of things before that day. You can go down there and get you a topographical map, which you don't even have to do that no more with Google Earth. You can look at the terrain, see what's around it, ride the perimeter of it, see where the fields are. Try to establish where they might be feeding as far as agriculture goes.
That's right.
You can look at these Google Earth things right there in your the comfort of your living room on your laptop, and kind of get a feel for the lay of the land, the swamps, maybe the oak heads and things like that, and you can dial it in somewhat. Mark you a few key spots on there that you want to scout out, and then get in there and get with it. And my advice to you when you go to any WMA is get in the woods, get deep off the road. Don't hunt 100 yards off the road. Get in there, do your work, pack it in there, and go in there and sit all day, because this up in Piedmont, there's a lot of competition among hunters, and a lot of the deer we killed and saw or started moving as the hunters started moving out of the woods, and then conversely into the woods in the evenings. They would run the deer, move them, bump them, they get on their feet and travel, and we killed some nice deer, just kind of trying to sit longer than our neighbor there. So
yeah.
A lot of things you can do beforehand to see if there's a good place to be. Bulldog says he just saw a Bigfoot pulling a wagon full of turtles. I don't know what that's all about.
Bigfoot pulling a wagon full of turtles. That's funny. Talk about Bigfoot. He's everywhere. Mm-hmm. They've got a stand over there in Donaldsonville named like the Sasquatch stand.
Yeah, see there. Because
they think that's where, if the Sasquatch was around, that's the only place he would live. And it's pretty in there. I can give him that. It is pretty in there.
Yeah, Bulldog says, you know what you call a snowman in Miami?
What's that?
A puddle. You got that right.
Hey, I think Bulldog was going to come see me this afternoon. I got something for him out there in the cooler.
Oh,
give him a little bit of deer meat.
I hear you. He's probably you probably trying to pay him to not show up at the fight or something.
Take it easy on my brother.
I hear you. A little payoff. 6,591 folks like the Good Outdoors Facebook page. That's the Good Outdoors with a Z. Y'all get on there and check it out if you're a Facebook surfer. We got a pretty good following there. A lot of people, and it's not us, it's the Outdoors.
That's right.
Get on there. There's 44,294 people talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. They're off Facebook.
And right now, we say this time and time again, but I'm going to say it again. Right now, we're talking a lot about deer hunting. That's because people are deer hunting. We're going to cover the gauntlet. I'm doing a lot of research now. We're going to go through everything that's outdoors. I mean, that goes from anything from cooking outdoors, to camping, fishing, biking, boating, whatever it is, whatever the case may be. And we're going to cover it kind of as that season comes. Of course, we got turkey hunting season. We got speckled perches. They're biting real good now. This is the time most of the people fish with them. We'll cover that. We're going to cover everything you can imagine in the outdoors. And we're going to talk about getting more and more kids outdoors, because that's what it's all about, and that's what we want to do.
That's the motivation of the show, is the kids. We started this thing to spread the word that it's great to have kids in the outdoors, that it's a fun activity. It's inexpensive. You don't have to spend a lot of money to enjoy the outdoors. It's just there. All you got to do is step right out your door. Step out your front door, your back door, your side door, crawl out your window, up your chimney. It don't matter. And you outdoors. It don't cost anything to get outdoors. You just walk outside, and it starts right there. Playgrounds. We could probably spend a whole day talking about playgrounds, playground equipment, what you can do on a budget. We'll cover that. Matter of fact, we'll look up some things that you can do out there in your backyard to keep your kids entertained, because that's what it's about. If you keep a kid engaged, and I don't even care what the activity is, if you keep him engaged in a good, wholesome activity, keeps his mind occupied, keeps him from thinking about trying to think up things to do, and then leading himself down a path that he shouldn't go down, or her, either one.
That's right.
So we'll be talking about a lot of that once deer hunting gets out of the way. And about this time of the year, a lot of people about ready for deer hunting to get out of the way. At the end of the season, you generally start getting frustrated. Around in this area, you start seeing less and less deer. You think, man, this season I didn't get that big buck. You start getting depressed, and you start getting ready to wake up one morning and the state has taken away the day that you can go deer hunting, and then you're off the hook and say, well, I'd go if I could. But you sleep in, you feel good, and you start thinking about speckled perch and turkeys, maybe hogs.
Oh yeah.
So it's exhausting. You spend a lot of time and energy, and of course somewhere you start making that change again somewhere. Probably for me, it starts happening around, I don't know, June, July. Well, actually, probably back up a little bit. April or May, when I start thinking about food plots and stuff like that, I'll start thinking about it. Then you'll start seeing some bucks running around with a little velvet on their heads. You think, man, that's going to be a good one. And you start that whole process, that whole sick process over again. You start focusing all your waking moments and thoughts on that old big buck. Yes,
sir. And this, for a lot of people, it's a year-round quest. You know, from trail cameras, watching these deer shed their horns, watching them grow on back, planting, protein feed. It's a year-round quest.
Yes, sir. It is. It is for me, man. It's a joyous thing. It can be a lot of fun. It can be rewarding, frustrating, but it's all good, and it's just wholesome. You take your kid out there, teach him about the outdoors, take him along, teach him about rubs and scrapes and about wildlife in general. Gopher turtle dens. You walk by one, tell him what the old gopher's doing down there, and you tell him what lives down there with him, and tell him to be on his toes when he walks around them old holes on a good cool day when the sun's out about midday, and them old rattlers slide out of them holes to get a little warmth there. You teach him about things like that, and you teach him about rabbits and squirrels, and man, we'll talk about bird watching one day. We could probably start naming birds when we started the show and never get through the list.
And that's a huge thing. People don't realize how big it is.
Yep.
And a lot of people love to watch birds. Shoot, I'm sitting in a deer stand. You can call me a bird watcher because I put my binoculars on different birds all the time to see what they are and look at them and watch them.
Yep.
It's fun to do. Well, we got to take another break here, and we'll come back with the good outdoors. Thanks for listening.
Drop by Bailey's Custom Meats at 1646 Clay Road in Valdosta and fill your freezer with the finest meats around. We will custom cut your steaks any way you want them. If it's not what you like, just tell us and we'll recut it. This Friday and Saturday, we are selling bone-in New York strips for $4.99 a pound. We also have the Pick 5 for $19.99. Don't forget, we also process your deer that you take into Good Outdoors. Just quarter it and put it in the cooler. Hamburger, cube steak, or sausage, however you want it. Come by and see Mike and the gang at Bailey's Custom Meats today. We sell the meats your mama raised you on.
Triangle Discount Corner is a true discount and convenience store located at the intersection of River Street and St. Augustine Road. It's very easy to zip in and zip right back out. Triangle Discount Corner is all about convenience and discounts. Ice cold beverages, coffee, snacks, last minute needs, or filling up that gas tank in a flash is what we're all about. Wheel into Triangle Discount Corner today and tell them you listen to the Good Outdoors on Kicks Country 99.5 and get you a nice hot cup of coffee for a quarter. But you got to get there before 9 a.m. That's Triangle Discount Corner at the corner of River Street and St. Augustine in Valdosta.
Horizon RV in Lake Park, Georgia is your family-friendly RV dealer. Horizon carries a great selection of new as well as pre-owned RVs. Horizon owner B.K. Eisen created an RV dealership with a strong focus on its customers and the personal service it provides. The complete line of Coachman Freedom travel trailers is simply unbelievable, and the RV accessory and service department is second to none. If you need financing, Horizon RV has the best RV financing in Georgia. So stop by Horizon RV at 5343 Mill Store Road in Lake Park, Georgia, and take an RV to the Good Outdoors.
Hey, Dad?
Yes, Dawson?
Is there a limit on how many clay pigeons you can shoot?
Well, son, you really don't kill a clay pigeon since it's not alive to begin with.
Is there a limit on how many skeets you can shoot?
No, Dawson, there is not a limit. Usually here at Southwind Sporting Clays and Quail, we just see how many we can hit. And they are not called skeet, but I will explain that later.
Well, it wouldn't really matter if there was a limit for you.
Dawson, just because I run Southwind doesn't mean I shoot all the time.
That's not what I mean, Dad.
But what do you mean, Dawson?
If there was a limit, you wouldn't ever be in danger of going over it.
Are you saying I'm a bad shot?
Maybe you just need more practice.
Come see us today at Southwind Sporting Clays and Quail on the Quitman Highway just past the river in Brooks County, or visit our website at southwindclaysandquail.com for more information on quail hunts or rifle and pistol range or sporting clays.
You missed again, Dad.
Okay, son, let's keep moving.
Sweet Tea Smokehouse, Adel, baby. Stop by for lunch Monday through Friday, and Teresa will sit you down to the absolute finest barbecue sandwich you can find. Located a quarter-mile north of Cook County Ford in Adel, Georgia, Sweet Tea Smokehouse has the finest pork ribs and chicken in South Georgia. Teresa just introduced her new chicken wings to the public, and I'm telling you, they are a life-changing event. Sweet Tea Smokehouse is also open every Thursday and Friday evening from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Stop by Sweet Tea Smokehouse at 701 South Hutchinson Avenue, Adel, or call your order ahead at 229-896-1665.
It's the Good Outdoors on 99.5 Kicks Country. Now, let's get back to the fun, talking about everything to do with the outdoors with Steve, Daryl, and Ronnie.
Wow, that wasn't good. I about got choked. You know, I've had this cold all doggone weekend long, and I'm tired of it.
Yeah, it started on you last week before you ever went out of town.
Yeah, and then I didn't help it none being outside all weekend long in the weather.
Cold wind, man. That cold wind is bad on a cold or cough. And
that was the only thing that got me yesterday morning and Saturday, you know, was the wind. As cold as, you know, it was good and cool all day. In the morning times, it was down around 30 yesterday morning. But the wind, man, would just cut through you. You know, that's something we need to cover one day, is how to stay warm when you're outdoors, whether you're working, hunting, fishing, whatever.
Yep.
You know,
find the sun.
Daryl lives to be in the warm.
Yeah, blocking that wind's tough. There's a lot of stuff out there. We'll talk about that one day, and that's something that'll be a good tip, whether you're hunting, fishing, or doing other things outdoors. So, you know, we bundle the kids up to go to the little park down the road there, and it's always a bunch of hoopla, rounding up gloves and mittens and stuff for your head and jackets and this, that, and the other. So, I don't know if you have read the news, but our president had made the rounds on Meet the Press yesterday and has pledged Sunday to make gun control a top priority in his second term and vowed to put his full weight behind such legislation. Said he'd like to get it done in the first year, and this is not something that he'll be putting off. So hold on to your hats, people. We're going to see what happens there.
It's going to get interesting.
You know, you got some states passing, trying to pass or making rules. I know the sheriff there out in Arizona, he is implementing guns in the schools. He's putting it right in there, and he's arming, putting resource officers in there armed to protect the teachers. They're having free gun carrying or gun handling clinics for the teachers who want to be. I saw one that had 200 attendees the other day out in one state, New Mexico or Utah or somewhere. Yeah, Utah, I believe it was. And we need to take a look at protecting the schools and public places. Not just what I can't stand is that they come out and that they're making gun control a top priority. That's what just angers me to no end. It's not. I think we all at the core agree that we need to make safety and protection a top issue, but why do we have to let someone call it making gun control a top priority? We don't have to control the guns. I mean, it's just, to me, it's an asinine argument to sit here, and I know we're never going to change the opposition's mind. We don't have a gun problem, just like you're not going to tell Congress that we don't have a tax problem. We have a spending problem. You know, you're not. I don't know. I get so mad. I'll sit here and get myself worked up into a tizzy, and I'll have smoke roll off my head in just about 30 seconds if I keep on. You know, ask Melissa Swain what she thinks about guns. This weekend, some idiots had been obviously casing her house, and her husband got up, left her 2 older children at home. They got up early. I guess it was Saturday or Sunday morning to go hunting. And as soon as they left, they went over towards Cairo. About the time they pulled up into Cairo, they got the call. Some knuckleheads tried to break in their house. And if it wasn't for them teaching their kids what to do in a situation like that, immediately dialing 911, how to use a pistol, that could have been a very, very bad situation.
Yes, it
okay? And now we got to talk about gun control. What the heck, man? Come on, it's not gun control, it's idiot control. It really is. We need to be clamping down, enforcing the laws we got, and strengthening the laws we've got. If you screw up, you can't have a gun, period, ever. I'm for this right here. I used to be a little softer, but because of idiots like that, I do want to crack down on the problem. If you're a convicted felon, you should never ever be allowed to get a gun. You screwed your chance up. So I don't care what it was. I don't care if you this is just my opinion now, and you can disagree. 229-253-0995. But when you were 20 years old and you screwed up and committed a felony that didn't have nothing to do with a gun, then I'm sorry. You lost your privilege. Take responsibility. That don't mean you can't hunt. You just gonna have to pick up a bow and arrow or a crossbow.
Yep.
But you lost your right to carry a gun. That's just me. That would solve one problem. Number two is if you murder somebody and you go to jail, you should never, ever, ever, if you don't get the death penalty, you should never, ever, ever, ever see the light of day ever again.
Yep.
Okay? My taxpayer dollars are going to go to keep you in the clink. Hey, that's part of protecting society. If I can't rally Congress to fry them all, then I'm perfectly willing to let my taxpayer dollars keep them in the clink.
Yep.
That's just my opinion. Don't let them out. If you're at the mall, if we would have more incidents as this right here, if you're at the mall and somebody tries to hijack you in your car, we need to be pulling pistols out and blowing them away. Just that simple.
Oh yeah.
You know, it just like
I agree.
The girl in Texas who the guy come up and he just tried to snatch her purse, and she shot him and killed him. Period. That's what we need. We need to protect ourselves and our property. Justice. Yeah, just shoot them. If they come in your house and they try to hurt you, just shoot them.
What do you think happened back in the old days?
They shot them
in the West. In the West, yeah. In the old West, if you come in there and tried to hurt somebody or do anything like that, they shoot you. What was wrong with that?
Right. Well,
it was justice.
You know, that's right. I mean, I understand that somebody can't come in and say, "Man, you got a pretty wild." Bam! You can't shoot them or nothing like that. But you got, But if they cross the line, they try to harm you or harm your property.
Oh yeah.
You've got the right to defend yourself and your property. Do. You know, if you're a farmer and you pull in a field and you catch somebody trying to steal your tractor, you ought to be able to just shoot them.
I agree.
You just should.
I agree. An eye for an eye. Shoot them.
Shoot them, Liz.
Yeah, I was saying the more shooting going on, they would stop doing it.
I'm telling you, man. I don't know. You know, they publish this.
All these bleeding heart liberals out there.
You know, I don't give a dang if his cheese slid off his cracker and he got beat and abused. I don't care. I mean, come on, man. My life ain't been perfect, and I ain't taking it out on nobody else.
No, that's the point. You know, if our life is not perfect at all times, nobody's is, but we do not take it out on anybody else, and I will not. I refuse to, because I know the difference in right and wrong. I was taught the difference in right and wrong.
That's right. Yep.
And I was taught that if I break in on somebody, if I try to harm them, they're probably going to shoot me.
Yep.
You know, so I don't want to do that.
I've done wrong in my life, but I ain't never blamed it on nobody else. You know, I don't know. I took responsibility. You know, I don't know. I don't know what the heck has went wrong. I think it boils down to some very elementary things like, discipline at home. I know that the fact that the moral decay of society, when people don't stay married, I mean, I watched my mom and dad, or our mom and dad, they were married for 45 years. They had good times and bad times, but there was never one time that they ever thought they were about to get a divorce.
No.
They stuck it out. They toughed it out. And even me in my home now, I've been married for 5 years, and we can get in a fight over Pop-Tart and somebody threatens to divorce. It's ridiculous. For better or for worse. So you burnt the toast. I shouldn't be yelling at her.
No, you shouldn't.
I mean, I shouldn't be telling her if you don't learn how to make toast properly, I'm gonna kick you out. I should not be saying that. I'm just joking. I don't say that really. But, you get my point. People find a way to get out of a marriage rather than find a way to work on it. Now we all know that. God has been taken out of the homes and out of the schools and out of the workplace.
God has not been taken out of the homes. People have taken God out of the homes.
You're right. You're not allowed to to even talk about it. You're not allowed. You can't even have a Bible on your desk at work in some places. It's just ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
You can have the Bible in every hotel room across America. If you want a Bible. Do they still do that? I think they do. I mean,
last time I was at a hotel or a motel.
Yeah. I mean, every hotel I've been at had a Bible in it. I can't believe that
even the cheap ones.
Yeah, that these idiots are standing on their heads wanting the Bibles out of the hotels. We can have them in a goddamn hotel, and we can't have them in a school?
What's wrong
Are
with that?
you kidding me?
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's crazy.
You got a call.
We got a call.
Good morning, caller. You on the Good Outdoors?
If you kill more criminals trying to break in your house or destroy your property, I bet the crime rate would go down.
I guarantee it would.
I would like to be.
government would be going out of debt because you ain't got no criminals in the jailhouses to support.
We'd be saving money. I think it ought to be all right for me to shoot somebody that's breaking into your house, and you to be shooting somebody that's breaking into my house. That's what I believe.
Yep.
I believe if we see somebody doing wrong, we ought to just be able to bust a cap in them.
That's a little harsh there.
How you been doing this morning?
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Okay,
Alrighty.
thank you.
Yeah. I tell you, that is kind of harsh though now, Steve. You can't go as far as somebody doing something wrong.
I can wish. I can dream.
You can wish, but
citizens arrest. How about citizens shooting? You know?
I kind of live in a neighborhood like that. If someone was messing with my house and I'm not there, my neighbors would do something.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that I live in a neighborhood like that too.
What did our dad do when that store was across the street from our house on Valdale Road, right down the corner, old Scruggs' store back 100 years ago?
He went over and
when he heard glass breaking and they were breaking into Mr. G.E. Cornelius' store, what did he do? He went over there and apprehended one of them.
Yeah, with a single shot 30-30.
That's right, and a good bulldog.
But
the thing is, he defended that other man's property.
Yeah, and ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, I don't know.
It's all about getting to know your neighbors.
Yeah.
Well, like the guy, this list they published to the gun owners up in New York. They have found out that a vast majority of them are former policemen that own it, and then they've interviewed people that had the guns, and one guy that didn't own a gun went next door and confronted the guy next door that owned the gun. I'll tell you a little bit about that when we come back, but it's craziness. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the Good Outdoors on 99.5 Kicks Country.
You are a hunter. You probably hunt from a tree. If you do, you owe it to your family to use a safety harness. Hunter Safety System has been providing hunters with a safe way to hunt for over 10 years. Many companies have created vests since, but Hunter Safety System is still number one. There are styles that fit men, women, and children of all shapes and sizes. Do not climb a tree without vests and products from Hunter Safety System. You get no second chance. Visit huntersafetysystem.com. Saving lives is what they do. Service. It's a very simple word, but you'd think it's French. At Deep South Sanitation, our service will never be questioned. We are there when we say we'll be there. If there's a couple extra bags by the can, we pick it up. Deep South Sanitation don't care if the lid won't close. All the more reason to dump it. If you're elderly or disabled, the Deep South Sanitation team will get your can, dump it, and put it back. If trash blew out, we don't leave it, we pick it up. Keep the money you pay for sanitation services local by supporting Deep South Sanitation, a locally owned business. Call Carrie Scarborough today at Deep South Sanitation, 229-559-0200.
Austin's Cattle Company's menu is so big and delicious. In order to fit everything in, we had to write a song about it. So take it away, boys.
'Cause we got hand-cut steaks and taters, too big to taste better than your grandmother's pound cake. Hallelujah, and reach the sky, just load it up and pile it. How we got prime rib, seafood, salad, and baby back food so good it'll make your lips smack. Austin's Cattle Company's where you gotta go when your stomach gives you an attack. Come on in and sit on down, and you'll be chillin' like the king of town. Order up your favorite meal and turn that sat pound upside down. I guarantee you'll slap your knee when you eat it. Austin's Cattle Company.
Just head on down Austin's.
Woo, that's good.
So there you have it, folks. Next time you get a craving for something tasty, stop on by Austin's at exit 16 off I-75. There's something on the menu for everyone, and they serve big portions so you'll never leave hungry. From seafood and prime rib to the freshest hand-cut steaks, chicken, and ribs you can find. Austin's Cattle Company is truly an addiction you never have to quit.
White Brothers Auto Supply is South Georgia's auto parts headquarters, located at 1106 West Hill Avenue in Valdosta, Georgia. White Brothers can cover the smallest auto part need right up to a replacement engine or transmission. Serving Valdosta with an enormous auto parts inventory, you can rest assured that White Brothers has what you need, no matter if you're a do-it-yourselfer or an automotive professional. White Brothers has the right part at the right price. Stop by 1106 West Hill Avenue in Valdosta or call 229-244-8773 for all your auto part needs.
Hey y'all, have you heard about Carter & Sons Produce? Farm fresh produce as always. Plus, the all-new Carter & Sons Butcher Shop is now open. Hand-cut meats, top-grade selections, plus all the fixings. It just doesn't get much better than that. Stop by today to pick up everything you need for your family's dinner table. And don't forget, find us on Facebook, Carter & Sons Produce and Butcher Shop, voted #1 in South Georgia for a reason. 1500A South Patterson Street, Valdosta. Y'all come see us.
You're listening to The Good Outdoors with Steve, Daryl, and Ronnie on 99.5 Kicks Country. Now, let's get back to the fun.
Hey, welcome back to The Good Outdoors. We were sitting here talking about different things during the break that we're watching. And Piers Morgan, you know, he's been in the news about his stance on gun control, and there's been a petition out there to get him deported because he's not even from the United States. 90,000 people signed it. And, you know, he come on there and he said he would just go ahead and deport himself.
Yep, get on out of here.
You need
We ain't
some
gonna
help,
stop
dude?
you. Yeah, don't talk about it. You can sell us better than you can tell us. Just get the heck out.
Let's do it.
Americans intent on ensuring a school massacre like the one in Newtown, Connecticut never happens again could learn a lot from Israel, where the long menu of precautions includes armed teachers. The Jewish state, which has long faced threats of terrorist strikes in crowded locations like schools, takes an all-of-the-above approach to safety in the classroom. Fences, metal detectors, and armed private guards are part of a strategy overseen by the country's national police. As a result, no gun violence at these schools. Bottom line, it's hard to imagine. You know, it's hard to imagine sending my kid to a school where he has to go through a metal detector inside of a fence that has razor wire on top with armed guards running around. It's a sad commentary that we're talking about here, but in the opinion of Mr. Oren Shemtov, who is the CEO of Israel's Academy of Security Investigation, he's basically the czar over protecting the schools. He says that most attacks typically happen in a matter of minutes, and said gun-toting teachers could, at the very least, buy time for kids to escape. In his professional opinion, after analyzing what happened at the Newton school, he said that 2 armed teachers would have kept the Newton shooter occupied for about 45 seconds each. And according to his calculations, the damage would have been, instead of, you know, about 26 people being killed, probably could have kept it down, you know, to 5 or 6. And if you think about that, I got mixed emotions. I'm just now reading this myself, but it's sad that there would still be 5 or 6 people killed. But you got to look at what would have been prevented. You know. I mean, what if it was one of your children, or, you know, your wife that was a teacher, or your daughter that was a teacher? You know, what you know, that one girl there, Victoria Soto, was a teacher. She's the one that hid her children in the closets. And when the gunman came to the door, she told him that he was in the gym, or that they were in the gym, and they shot her. Now, my question to you is this: I don't know how many he had killed at that point, but if Miss Soto was packing, he probably.
And when he opened that door,
and she shot him, he probably wouldn't have killed no more.
That's exactly right.
You know, so something to think about. And I know it's a very controversial subject, and you know, our own Ronnie, who's still recovering from his gender altering surgery, he you know, he's not really comfortable with the teachers being armed. Me, I am, as long as they're trained, background checks and all that, and I'm perfectly willing to accept the fact that I know that there's a great possibility, well, I ain't gonna say great, but there's a possibility that no matter how well you scan those teachers and you do background checks and you train them, hey, something could happen, and they could go off their rocker, you know, and obtain the gun and shoot some. They could, but if you don't go that route, you got to have armed police officers. What's going to keep the police officer from going off the deep end? You know, you can't speculate into things like that. You know,
no, you can't. You know, you can't speculate into that. I mean, there's going to be a teacher that's going to snap and go crazy or something. Just like there's people out there every day that goes crazy, but
I go crazy every day. It's just not quite as
just don't use a gun.
Yeah, I don't want to say exactly.
And just look where Obama's kids go to school. You know, at this Sidwell Friends School, it's a very private elite school. They have 11 armed guards. You know, it's not just because
right. That's right. They had them before the president.
It's not just because of the president. They have them before, had them before.
Yep.
And we'll have them after his daughters are gone from there.
Sure.
And you know, it's a private school, I think. But you know, tuition's pretty high, but they have them. And I don't see nothing wrong with putting armed guards, whether it be police officers, security people, whatever it is. I mean, up my taxes a little bit to pay for it. I don't mind. Yeah. You know, I'll support something like that. Arm the teachers. Do something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Most people understand that we have to pay taxes. We got to have roads. We got to have schools. You know, so we're going to spend money out of our paycheck on taxes. So why not spend it on something we all support? You know,
we were talking the other day at work, and somebody brought up some good points. You know, we live here in South Georgia where our schools, our kids, you know, are getting tougher and tougher as they get older. You know, without the parental guidance at home and things like that. But we don't live in these bigger cities to where these schools are really, really bad. And, you know, if you arm a teacher, there's students fighting teachers all the time.
Yep.
We just don't hear about it every day because there's so many people in the world. And they brought up a good point. Well, what's going to happen whenever this student overpowers this armed teacher and gets this teacher's gun?
Well, I can tell
there's
you,
ways around that, though.
Well, you don't. When you say arm the teachers, you're not literally saying strap them. Okay, you're talking about putting an access point, just like a fire extinguisher. You put a coded box in there that you slide your hand in, and you put a code in. You know, a numerical code or a fingerprint scanner or whatever. They basically, when you say arm the teachers, what we're meaning, or what I'm meaning is make them have access to the gun.
Right.
I'll tell you right now, you cannot put the gun on the teacher. I think that everybody's going to agree with that. I think we had a call coming in, Daryl. Good morning, caller. You're on there on the Good Outdoors. How you doing this morning?
Hey guys, it's Jody.
Hey, Jody.
I want to give you a little perspective from a teacher standpoint, since I have been teaching for about 5.5 years in high school.
All right.
I 100% agree with you. I think arming teachers are, you know, definitely the way to go. I mean, even as, you know, a man, I felt threatened several times. You know, with a larger student bigger than me. I mean, these students these days are big.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm 6'4", but still, that's someone bigger than me.
Yes, sir.
And you know, I agree with what y'all are saying, and I think the way to do it is like Steve's saying. It's you know, pretty much either randomly select a teacher, maybe somebody with a hunting background, somebody knows how to use a firearm, but the firearm will never be visible. The students will never know it was there. The other teachers will never know it was there. The only person that would probably even know it was there would be a principal, maybe even just the head principal, or maybe even just the superintendent.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, that way, if the gun ever needed to be used, then it would be that teacher's, I guess, opinion or you know, however they felt if it needed to be used in a situation.
That's right.
I mean, as far as some of the situations that I had been in when I was in teaching, I never felt that it was necessary for me to use a firearm, but you know, the opportunity of somebody walking into school was there. You know, we actually had an incident happen where a boy was being picked on. His brother didn't even attend the school, and he just walked in with normal clothes on right when the bell changed, come in the classroom, beat the crap out of a boy, and everybody even knew he wasn't supposed to be there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not hard to get into school. I've heard standing in the line at Walmart, and you hear stories about people going up there to pick their kids up, and nobody ever even say anything to them. They just walk right in. At the end of the day and stuff.
They've even had talks about even fencing in the entire school grounds, but then you get parents talking about, well, my kid's still out there in a prison or something. Well, that's understandable, but at the same time, you got to have that level of security where your students and your teachers feel secure enough where they can, be able to run a facility the way it should be run.
Unfortunately, in this day and time, it's sad, but it is a necessity. You know what I mean? It is a necessity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. But anyway, I figured I'd give y'all a little opinion from a teacher standpoint.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Appreciate you calling in, Jody. Where are you headed this morning?
Do what now?
Where are you headed this morning?
We're going to shoot some ducks, I reckon.
We kind of had that feeling when you called in there. So y'all knock them out. Let us know what you do.
All right, guys.
All right, appreciate it.
Thanks. There's different ways to do it too. You can put lock boxes somewhere that only the teacher has access. You can encode. They have the encode to where you can be encoded to only that one person can shoot that gun.
Mm-hmm.
There's many different ways, and something we're gonna have to you know, we're going to have to address is, I think it's coming. I really do. I think it's coming to arm teachers in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And I support it.
Yeah, I think, you know, you also got to keep it in perspective. Though tragic, the Connecticut shooting, Columbine out in Colorado, you know, things like that, those are isolated incidents. And in the grand scheme of things, it's happened in less than probably 0.1% of schools in the country over the past 20 years. You know, it's not an epidemic. It's not something that's going on like here in our county where we had a rash of strong-armed home invasions. You know, it's that there's a lot more of that going on than there are school shootings. The problem is this has hit home because it was so tragic that it involved the innocent of innocence. You know, the children, and that's why it's getting so much, you know, press and reporting. You know, but you know, I don't know. Nobody talks about Chicago on TV and in the mainstream media. Chicago just had its 500th murder of the year.
I know.
And guess what? They have gun control. You know. So
you don't hear about that though.
No,
you never hear that.
They don't talk about it. They just don't talk about it.
That's the media. The media just reports on the bad things. Never report the good ones.
It's just ridiculous. Makes me sick.
Yes, sir.
Makes me sick. So I don't know. 229-253-0995 is the number. We're going to be taking a break here in just a second, so we'll take calls when we get off that break. So, but feel free to call in and talk about anything outdoors that you want to talk about. We are open for suggestions this morning. We looking forward to some time off. I think Daryl's got to go into work this morning. I'll be thinking about him when I go back home and roll into the bed. But I'm sure he was thinking about me when he was up there hunting and I wasn't.
He sure would.
Kind of works both ways there. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the Good Outdoors. Listen to 99.5 Kicks Country.
Fisherman's Paradise. The mention of the name makes me want to get out on the water. Fisherman's Paradise at 2031 Bemis Road, Valdosta, has been serving South Georgia and North Florida for over 12 years. A huge selection of rods by Shimano, reels, fishing line, lures, you name it. I counted over 600 different types of Zoom plastic worms alone. They got Culprit, Assassin Salt, Berkeley Gulp, Reaction, and on and on. They got topwater, crankbaits, spinners, and one of my favorites, the rattle trap. From hooks to corks and sinkers to minnows, shiners, and live worms, Fisherman's Paradise can send you to the lake, pond, or river with total confidence. Dave and Judy Leonard want to thank everyone from Bainbridge to Nahunta, from Perry, Georgia to Perry, Florida, and everywhere in between for making them the fisherman's choice. If personal, knowledgeable, one-on-one attention is what you need, stop by Fisherman's Paradise at 2031 Bemis Road, Valdosta. I promise you this, the fish will hate you for it. That's Fisherman's Paradise, proud sponsor of the Good Outdoors.
Steve, what's wrong? Why are you crying?
Man, I've been unfaithful. I found someone else.
Dude, what were you thinking? Does she know?
What? Not on my wife, you knucklehead.
Then what are you talking about?
I've eaten the same pizza for years, but I went to Marco's Pizza a few weeks back, and when I crave pizza, it's Marco's at 4320 Kings Way behind Cass Perch and Pipkin Motors.
Man, I've been hitting that place from day one. Pizzas, wings, cheesy breads, salads, sandwiches, it's all incredibly delicious.
It sure is, and have you tried those Marco's chicken dippers? Oh my gosh, are those things out of this world.
They have specials every day, and what a great place for the family.
Marco's is the place to be for food, and my personal favorite is I get to watch SpongeBob on the TVs located right there on the table.
Visit Marco's Pizza on Kings Way in Valdosta today. Hot delivery and quick carryout also available.
That's Marco's Authentic Italian Pizza.
Give them a call at 229-245-9595.
Val Optics on Patterson Street in Valdosta, Georgia has been providing 1-hour service for 25 years. From eyeglass repair to eye exams conducted by one of 2 on-site optometrists, Val Optics is there for all of your eyesight concerns. There is no need for an appointment, and most insurances are accepted. Val Optics also accepts outside prescriptions. So if you need eyeglass repair or an eye exam, stop by Val Optics at 601 North Patterson Street, Valdosta, Georgia. 25 years in business says it all.
So you need a car, truck, or SUV? Look no further than Midway Auto Emporium at 4189 Bemis Road, Valdosta, Georgia. Cameron and Melissa Tucker has been serving the Valdosta area for over 7 years now. They are a family-owned and operated local business with hometown values and still believe in handshake deals. With a great selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs, with a Carfax report on every one of them, along with bank financing at all credit levels and interest rates as low as 1.85% with approved credit. 4189 Bemis Road, or visit their website at midwayautoemporium.com.
You're listening to The Good Outdoors with Steve, Daryl, and Ronnie on 99.5 Kicks Country. Now, let's get back to the fun.
Yeah, good morning, good morning. Billy Pearson just posted on Facebook. He said, we just cut a doe loose that was caught in the fence. Man,
what'd you do that for? You could have ate
it. Yeah.
Come on, Billy. You didn't even have to waste an arrow or a bullet. You had one right in your hands, man. Good gracious.
Don't tell me you wouldn't have done the same thing.
Yeah,
it's just not right.
I got to have something to fuss about on the radio.
Good job, man. Hey, we got a call coming in. Good morning, caller. You're on The Good Outdoors. Uh-oh. I think we lost him. Nope. Call back, 229-253.
Got a text from our cohort, Ronnie Colbert there. He wanted to clarify that he did not mean that he was against arming teachers. He's just undecided on the proper way of doing it. And if I misspoke on his behalf, I apologize. I knew he was up in there about some things with it, you know, from conversations we had when it first happened. So he clarified that, and that's his position.
All right, we got the call. Good morning. You're on The Good Outdoors.
Yeah, I was talking about the guns in school and all.
Yeah.
I was thinking on lines, you know, there's enough retired military personnel that would probably volunteer.
That's right.
Probably right.
Yep.
On.
You're exactly
and,
right.
Then you could have, you know, qualified professional, you know, somebody that got experience with the guns, and, you know, maybe some teacher might panic, but a person with military background, you know, they would know what to do with a combat situation.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. There's a lot of retired military officials that's gotten on up in age, and they're looking for something to do. You know, they're setting their financial situation set. They don't necessarily want to take a job for the money, but they'd be glad to donate their time and serve, you know, serve the country again. So good point.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you calling in, pointing that out to us. You headed to work this morning or hunting, or what you doing?
We're just fixing to walk in and work right now.
All right. Well, have a good day, and maybe you'll get out of there early today and get on back home.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
See, there's a lot of great ideas out there, you know, and people just need to listen to them and count on them. We got another one. Got another call. Good morning, caller. You're on The Good Outdoors.
Well, good morning. This is Brian Peters, Biggie B.
What's up, Brian?
This is the webmaster for the Good Outdoors website.
And a fine webmaster it is.
Well, let me tell you guys, I was up this morning, and you know, as I walked out on my porch and I breathed in the cold air, I said, oh my goodness, I was going hunting, but my bed was calling.
well, it didn't put you in a headlock because you're still awake and you're calling us.
That's right. I'm calling you guys, and here's the deal. You know, you guys are talking about this gun thing, arming the teachers and all that stuff. Why don't we just, you know, we guard prisons, we guard banks, we guard Fort Knox, and by God, we guard the White House.
Amen,
why
brother.
Why can't we guard the people that you know, the children that are important? You know, all these liberals are sitting there talking about, oh, don't do, you know, abortion, and they're doing this and that. You know, why can't we, you know, really get down to business here and say, well, you know, liberals, okay, fine. You don't want to, or you want to have abortion, you don't want to have abortion, whatever they're saying. I mean, you get my point.
Right. Oh, yeah.
They're talking about what they're talking about, and we got this whole deal about these guns, and, well, don't arm the teachers. We need to put police officers in there. I said, well, okay, let's do it.
Yeah,
put them in there.
Put them in there.
It's a real frustrating situation because all these people around, and you know, there's so much noise out there. We're getting lost in the confusion, and we're missing the point. And the point is to finally get some kind of mandate where to get a teacher's license, okay, you need to have, if you're able, and you know, if you're able to teach, you ought to be able to handle a firearm.
Yep.
So, you know, go and get some kind of firearms training prior to getting your license or whatever you need to be a teacher in the state, as far as the state of Georgia is concerned, and make it where you're familiar with the firearm. I mean, you can't just put these guns out there, and these with some somebody breaks in. Into the school, and there's these teachers that don't even know how to handle a gun.
Oh yeah.
What are they going to do with a gun? And then you have to worry about, well, what if the teacher gets chased into another room? Will she be able to open the other box? I mean, there's just all kinds of situations we really got to focus on. And I mean, hell, if a liberal says, well, let's don't arm the teachers, well, let's just see how they feel if someone close to them gets shot. And then they say, well, at that last minute, the plane going down, the atheists are saying, oh, my God.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I mean,
Well, you hit the nail on the head. The compromise to me is guard the schools. Just that simple. You brought up a great point. Look, if you don't feel comfortable with arming the teachers or having guns accessible by the teachers, then just guard the school. Like you said, you guard, other facilities. Why don't you guard the school? During Christmas holidays, we guard the banks. I see that the banks have extra security. When you go in there during the Christmas holidays, they have an armed guard. Guess what?
Yeah.
Every now and then you hear of a bank trying to get robbed, but not very often.
Not when you got a police car sitting there.
Hey, we guard prisoners, people. We guard prisoners.
That's right.
Do you get it?
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. It's crazy. We appreciate the call, Brian. Thanks. You're doing a great job. Yeah, he brings up a great point. I mean, let's just guard the schools. Just guard them. Control the access points. Okay, everybody goes in the same way, in and out of the same way to get into school. You can get out of the school multiple ways, but make sure the doors are one way. That's another thing I keep going back to. Why ain't there escape or other doors in the classrooms, or an easy way to get out of the classroom? I mean, I know there's got to be a fire escape, but there should be a one-way door, to get out of the classroom. I keep thinking, when they hear shooting, instead of staying in the classroom, they could have ran out the door. You're looking at a lot of different scenarios there.
What shooting? Is it a single shooter, multiple shooters? And that's what people's going to bring up. Well, if we open the access door and let kids run out, are they running into danger? Are they going to be more safe here? See, there's so many different scenarios out there.
Yeah, but if you hear a gun play in the hallway, you're not going to run to it.
Agree.
You got to run.
I understand.
Now, if you got 10 armed gunmen that's covering all the exits and shooting them as they come out,
you never know.
What you going to do?
Denver Godwin just posted something there. He said, "I believe arming teachers is a good thing. I also believe that if law enforcement officers would randomly park in a school parking lot or near a school while doing their daily reports, that could deter school violence." Another good point.
Well, every day I'm almost certain of this. I know a vast majority of the days that I took my kids to school, and let's say they didn't ride the bus, I took them to school, there's a Lowndes County deputy's car parked right out front. Right out front. Now, I don't know if he leaves and he's not there all day.
They're there all day.
Yeah.
Resource officers.
If I don't know what was going on in Connecticut, but all I know to compare it to is the school I deal with. And I just don't see anybody doing that at Hayhire Elementary. I just don't. I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen, and God, I hope it never does. But I mean, you got a policeman there or a deputy or whatever there. So I guess you're gonna, if you're a criminal, you're thinking, well, I'm gonna go in there and the first thing I do is take him out. I understand that, but I think Brian had an excellent point. One that he really put it in simplistic terms, and for me, and that's the one I'm gonna start preaching. Just guard the school. Just guard the school. A lot of places the post office is guarded. The prison's guarded, like you said. Just guard it. Just put an armed guard there.
Actually, there are some schools that are guarded. If you get some that are on military bases.
Trust me,
that's how I was when I was a kid.
Trust me, in New York City, Washington, D.C., cities like that, the inner cities of Chicago, I promise you there's armed guards at those schools, and there ain't nobody got shot.
Metal detectors, too.
Metal detectors, the whole 9 yards.
And I hope we never have to go where my kids have to walk through a metal detector to go to school.
It's gonna happen.
But if that's what keeps them safe, then okay, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what, man.
It's like going in and getting on that airplane. You got to deal with the security to get on the plane.
Yep. It's a frightening world we live in right now. It really is. It's scary in so many levels, and I'm telling you, you better be right in your faith, because that's the only thing that's going to save you. That's the only thing that's going to save you. And whew, man,
there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having faith in God at all.
I want to homeschool my children, but I'm not smart enough to do it. I can't teach them. You know what I mean? If I was to teach my kids, I'd be setting them back for years. You know?
Man, we're like you said, we live in a frightening world. I do not ever want to wake up and turn the news on and ever see any type of this violence again as what went on in Connecticut. And furthermore, I never want to wake up and it be in my hometown. I don't want it to be in any hometown. I don't want it to ever happen again. But, you know, it's so much, when it gets closer and closer to home, it makes you think more and more. That's a shame. We should be thinking about everybody else too. But it just, I'm sick of it, guys. I really am. I want something to be done. I like what Brian says. You know, if you don't want to put armed guards into school, just, by God, guard the school. Put them outside and guard the doggone school. It's not going to be hard to do. It will not. I get so depressed a lot of times thinking about what goes on in this world and what this world has come to because of, you know, we just have to give in and give in and give in. We get away from what this country was founded on, the principles this country was founded on.
Yep.
And God, guns, all that's part of it. You know, it's all part of it. And I don't know. It just gets aggravating. There's no one answer. There's no one single answer. We have to have a combined effort. Just like in Congress, you know, and right now we're facing a fiscal cliff. There's no one answer. It's a combined answer. There's got to be give and take on both sides. On all sides, not just both sides, but on all sides. Give and take, and let's get together and work on this issue and solve this issue. That's plain and simple. We got to do it.
Yeah, you can't wait to the last minute to address something, you know, no matter what it is.
It's too late now. You know, the damage is done. We got to take another break. Come back with our wrap-up segment. Thanks for listening to The Good Outdoors, everybody.
Hey, Dad?
Yes, Dawson?
Is there a limit on how many clay pigeons you can shoot?
Well, son, you really don't kill a clay pigeon since it's not alive to begin with.
Is there a limit on how many skeets you can shoot?
No, Dawson, there is not a limit. Usually here at Southwind Sporting Clays and Quail, we just see how many we can hit. And they are not called skeet, but I will explain that later.
Well, it wouldn't really matter if there was a limit for you.
Dawson, just because I run Southwind doesn't mean I shoot all the time.
That's not what I mean, Dad.
But what do you mean, Dawson?
If there was a limit, you wouldn't ever be in danger of going over it.
Are you saying I'm a bad shot?
Maybe you just need more practice.
Come see us today at Southwind Sporting Clays and Quail on the Quitman Highway just past the river in Brooks County, or visit our website at southwindclaysandquail.com for more information on quail hunts or rifle and pistol range or sporting clays.
You missed again, Dad.
Okay, son, let's keep moving.
Everyone knows that Eagle Auto Repair in Lake Park, Georgia is the best place to get your vehicle back in shape and keep it there. But did you know they're also a certified U-Haul provider? That's right. If you are moving somewhere or pulling a car or truck and need help, Eagle Auto Repair can hook you up. No matter if it's local or long distance, we've got you covered. Might as well leave your car for service while you move. That's multitasking. Eagle Auto Repair, 321 Lakes Boulevard in beautiful Lake Park, Georgia. Stop by or give Ronnie a call at 229-559-1999.
You did it. You bagged that trophy of a lifetime. So who you going to trust to recreate that memory? Jody Hewitt at Artistic Wildlife is the man to call. With years of experience and an attention to detail that is unmatched, Artistic Wildlife is the taxidermist for deer, turkey, ducks, fish, and even a dadgum godforsaken rattlesnake, if you're one of those crazy folks. Details on Jody's brand new Artistic Wildlife studio in Adel, Georgia will be coming soon. Give Jody a call at 229-560-3062 or visit his website at artistic-wildlife.com.
We're running out of time. We're drawing the line. This is our battle cry.
Huntin' is Good TV is an action-packed hunting show with a mission to secure our hunting heritage. Join Steve Nichols, Trey Weatherington, and Neil Armati each week as they hunt across the U.S. and Canada with pro athletes, actors, wounded warriors, kids, and regular old Joes who know hunting is good. Huntin' is Good TV airs on Pursuit Channel and is available on Dish Network Channel 240 and DirecTV Channel 604. For more info, visit huntingisgoodtv.com and follow on Facebook at facebook.com/HIG TV show. You can also use your high-speed internet connection to watch online by logging on to filmon.com at the airtimes posted on our website. And remember, hunting is good.
This is our battle cry.
It's the Good Outdoors on 99.5 Kicks Country. Now, let's get back to the fun, talking about everything to do with the outdoors with Steve, Daryl, and Ronnie.
Good morning. You're back with the Good Outdoors here on 99.5 Kicks Country. This is our wrap-up segment brought to you by Southwind Sporting Clays and Quail out there on the Quitman Highway. Man, what a facility. You talking about some fine quail hunting. Great bird dogs, great facility. Got a 5-stand out there, a Sporting Clays range, a rifle and pistol range, a clubhouse for entertaining, and most importantly, some of the most fantastic quail hunting in this area. So go by and see John Peak just past the river, headed equipment on the right. You'll see the sign. Pull up in there and John can help you out. That leads me to the T3 Outdoors quail hunting tips of the day. I'm gonna give you several tips, and it's dealing with safety. There are 6 tips you got to remember. As a rule, the hunter should approach their prospective dogs from behind. Gun muzzle should be pointed skyward and the shotgun on safety until mounted to one shoulder. The 2 hunters should approach the dogs on either side and in a straight line with each other. This straight line is important for hunter safety. Before moving up and allowing the birds to flush, each hunter should visibly and mentally locate each other, both dogs, the hunting rig, and the hunting guide if you're on a guided hunt. Each hunter should have been informed of the range of swing he has with his gun before the hunt. As follows. Each hunter's range of swing should be from the midpoint between him and his partner and out to his side. A hunter should never cross that midpoint to shoot at a flying quail on his partner's side. Not only is this bad manners, it's also dangerous. A quail hunter should never take a shot at a low-flying bird that could cause him to lower the muzzle of his shotgun below a horizontal plane with the ground. This type of shot could hit one of the dogs, and you don't want to do that. So those are some safety tips from T3 Outdoors on Perimeter Road. Go by and see Judd for all your quail hunting, deer hunting, or any kind of hunting needs. He'll hook you right up. And I believe Daryl has teed up the Rusty Nut or Absent Nut weather report in honor of Ronnie's last day. I think he'll shoot. I think last day on the mend. He'll be back Wednesday, I believe.
Yeah,
so.
He's going to go to the doctor today. He actually gets to get out of the house, and the doctor's going to hopefully release him for driving. He'll be back in here Wednesday with us again because we're not going to be in studio tomorrow morning. We're going to take the day off. Anyway, it's 31 degrees out there right now. Kind of cold. Yeah, high of 68 degrees today. Low of 50 tonight. 0% chance of rain today. High of 73 tomorrow. 59 tomorrow night. Slight rain chance tomorrow, Wednesday, 20 and 30%. Thursday is 70% chance. Going to cool off a little bit again towards the end of the week. We're going to have winds about 8 miles an hour today, so not too bad. The Rusty Nut weather report.
That wind to make it make it a little cool though, you know.
Yeah, brought to you by Powerhouse Outdoor Equipment.
Powerhouse Outdoors.
Gravely,
walk behind mowers, Polaris side by sides, man. You can check that out. Now he's got some fine stuff out there. We appreciate their support.
You know what? I think I'm going to call John today out there at Southwind and set up a quail hunt with him. I'm ready to get out there and go.
Hey, I can't go before tomorrow, so let me know what you come up with.
We're going to have to get out there, man. I am ready. I got to see a lot of good quail hunting land over the weekend. You know, they quail hunt over there in Donaldsonville some. And went through Thomasville, of course, with all the plantations around there for quail hunting, man. I mean, it's just awesome. Ready to go, ready to get after it. And get out there and do some hunting. Deer season's winding down for me. Get out there and do some quail hunting, get ready for some fishing, get ready for some turkey hunting. Just spending some time in the outdoors.
Yes, sir. There ain't nothing like it.
Yes,
ain't nothing like it. We I tell you what, we got a call coming in. All right. Last minute call. Good morning, caller. You on the air on the Good Outdoors?
I got to thinking since I talked to you guys last. It probably my kids go to Clydeville.
Yeah.
We got a resource officer with cameras and the DARE officer.
Right.
But still, sometimes I wonder if that's enough. But still wouldn't hurt, like you guys said, having an officer parked in a parking lot or across the street nearby, you know, doing his paperwork.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they, you know, you can't have too much help. You know what I'm saying?
One thing about it, about having somebody there, having that police officer there, deters a lot of people from even trying it.
Oh yeah, that's exactly right.
That's the idea behind it.
That's why I say it wouldn't hurt for them to be sitting across the street.
No, wouldn't hurt at all.
Because that way, you know that if they see an officer sitting in that cop car or truck, it's less likely they're going to want to try something. Because who says that cop ain't going to blow your brains out before you even get in that school?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Good. Appreciate you calling back and sharing that with us. Be careful out there.
I sure will.
All right, thanks. Yeah, you know, if it was known that the schools were protected by some form of an armed guard or armed teachers or whatever, then it would deter them. They're not going to go in there because it takes away that element of it being an easy target. Now, unfortunately, I believe this idiot in Connecticut, if he wouldn't have done it at the school, he would have done it somewhere else. That's the unfortunate part about it, and that's why we do need to focus on mental illnesses, and we need to study the events, you know, that led up to that.
Yep.
Just like the idiot that shot the fireman up there. They found out who supplied him the guns. They've already arrested that idiot. You know, you just, you know, you just got to do what you can do. You got to control what you can control, and controlling guns is not going to control anything.
It's not.
It's just going to open up Pandora's box. It's a statistical fact that in any area, I'm going to say all areas I've ever heard of that implemented gun control, crime went up. Yep. Gun violence went up. It don't go down.
No, it doesn't.
You know, unless you magically wake up one day and take everybody's guns away, which better not ever happen. Can't ever happen. You know, gun violence is going to be a part of our society. So it's I mean, I don't know. It's an ugly word. Gun control is an ugly word, but used in the proper context.
Look, violence is part of our society. You say you brought up a point that just kind of triggered something in me. Gun violence is always going to be a part of our society. Before there was guns, violence was still a part of our daggum society. Violence is there whether it's with guns or without guns. You take guns out, you go back to the days of using clubs and other things as weapons.
That's right.
Violence is always going to be there. You can't just stick it on gun violence, period. Because, I mean, the #1 weapon used in violent crimes on the FBI's website is a freaking baseball bat. So take the guns away. People are still going to be violent. People are still going to hurt each other. They're just going to use other weapons. Knives. So you're going to ban knives. Forks, bats, tire tools, whatever it is. Violence is going to be there regardless, people. You know, it's going to be there. It's always, we've always had violence in every society since man was made. You know, it's always, violence is always there. You're going to use stones. You're going to use something.
Yeah, well, kids that, you know, drop stuff off the bridge on the overpass.
Exactly.
You know, they probably doing that because they couldn't get a hold of a gun. So your point's well taken. You know, they're deviants.
They saw that on a dadgum video game. That's what ticks me off with some of the video games. They're so violent for kids to have a hold of. That's a whole nother subject for me. Get me riled up.
Well, you know, that video game thing, I walked in on our kids playing, I think it's Call of Duty, I think is what it was called.
I guarantee you'll never see that video game in my house for any of my kids. No violent video games at all, I promise you.
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, it ought to be. I mean, I watched Caden playing it, and it ought to be to where it won't have an effect. And here's the difference. I got full confidence in Caden being able to play that because I've taught him to respect the weapon. He's seen the damage. You know, that deer I shot with you the other day, I showed him. I said, look, you see what this bullet has done to that deer. That's why you always respect, and you better know what you're shooting at and why you're shooting it, because that's what happens when you pull that trigger and there's no reversing it. you know. And I got full confidence in his ability to be able to play that game and still be able to function in society. But what made me take the game away was the fact that there is a selection on there that you have to manually switch it from the language. You can censor it to where they don't curse and say bad words, or you can flip it. Well, out of curiosity, I flipped it over there. I wanted to hear what it talked like when you didn't have it, and I could not believe it. I'm telling you, dude. F-bombs, dropping left and right. Son of a, you know what? I could not believe it, and it wasn't on there when he was playing it. But just the fact that you can
do
as
it.
a person,
It's wrong. It's wrong.
As a person, you can flip it
ways.
over there and hear that kind of language. I don't care if you're 9 years old or 90 years old. Why would you want to hear somebody talking like that?
Mm-hmm.
And is it supposed to make it more realistic? Well, it shouldn't.
Nope, it should not.
Golly, man.
Oh,
66666. I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
the people that made that video game put that language in there. Can you hear what I'm saying, people?
Mm-hmm.
They put it in there. Why? Why? That's like a rap song or any song. Why would you have to talk like that? Why can't you talk like Rodney Atkins? You know, just take a back road, man. Think about your granddad's old music.
Yes, sir.
Some old George Strait. Think about the good things, man. Come on. Crazy. Anyway, we've had a great day in the good outdoors. We're going to be back not tomorrow, but the next day, Wednesday morning. Have Ronnie back, so appreciate y'all listening this morning. Drive careful.
Let me tell you, the good outdoors is calling my name. Got to go, guys.
Everyone have a good New Year's.
You've been listening to The Good Outdoors on 99.5 Kicks Country with Steve, Daryl, and Ronnie. Join us every weekday at 4:30 when we'll do it again.